Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my co-host Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault, and we have a filled show for you guys today. We're just coming back from March break here in Miramichi. My kids are all back to school. Everybody's out the door. Woo!
I'm so happy.
Yes, exactly. The ton of laundry that I went through yesterday, just having everybody home all week long. Brody was working, and my husband was back to work, and Teresa's away, but the two young ones were home, and it's just amazing what happens when no one's around and how many dishes you go through in the laundry, and it's just,
I know.
It was a late night trying to get all caught up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I was away for the March break.
Yes.
I had a fabulous time. I don't know if anyone can see my little bit of a tan, but I don't stay in the sun a whole lot without sunscreen, but it was beautiful. Yeah. And then again, when you get back, it's laundry, and routine things, but unfortunately, our oldest son had to be writing exams at school, so he couldn't join us, but the youngest one did come, and it was great having that time alone.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I had never been to that part of Miami, the Bell Harbor area, so it was hot and interesting, and we drove along and saw Versace's home. The mansion's right there.
Oh.
And Gianni Versace, as people might or might not know, was shot right on the doorstep of his mansion on July 15th, 1997. He was actually walking alone. He usually had guards with him when he went out for his newspapers and coffee, but he strolled along this morning, and a man who had committed, Andrew Buchanan, who had committed several murders, shot him right on his step. So
isn't that incredible?
No. Well, the fact that that guy was even loose, if he's done
he had
crimes.
been, involved with killing people before. So it was interesting. And then you see the people with their Speedos on and nothing else, like the men walking along.
We had that conversation.
We had this, I actually showed her to get a picture. I thought, how good is my body to be doing that? I'd have to look like Bo Derek or something before I would do that.
They still make those.
Well, it's different. I think, and it's probably a
Muriel?
double standard, but it's different to see a woman walking down the street in a bikini
Uh-huh.
than it is to see a man walking down the street in a Speedo.
It depends what the bikini looks like, though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, it's like dental floss type, it's disgusting.
I look at it as more as Speedos are not in style right now.
This guy thought he was in style.
He did.
He thought he was the cock of the walk, and he was. I had my video camera. I'm like, hello, what's your name?
She texted me last night the picture, and I was like, oh!
My poor 17-year-old goes, I'd be caught dead doing that.
Can you imagine?
Oh, my land.
So it was fun.
You're up to date with all that social media and
Oh,
tweeting
I
and getting
tell
that
you.
out there.
I have pictures, but I don't know what rated they'd be.
No, exactly.
So
Well,
it was great.
we're going to start off. I'm up. It's my turn for the quote of the week.
Yes.
And I do have one. Recently, this past week, we lost a beautiful, amazing woman, Nancy Reagan.
Yes.
She passed
Loved her.
away. So I decided to Google her and look up some of her famous quotes over the years. That she actually had quite a few. So I had lots to choose from.
Beautiful lady.
I'm sure.
Yes, she was. Here is the quote that I came up with that I thought was quite inspirational and I thought was pretty good. I quote her and say, "A woman is like a tea bag." No, I'm not done. It's only when she's in hot water that you realize how strong she is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And that was one of her
That is
sayings.
true.
Yeah.
So, and she, she definitely, I was actually amazed. I didn't realize that she had been in the movies as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
As well as her husband.
And they were such a
that's where they
power
met.
couple, right?
And it was amazing how they talked so much about her after she passed and her support, her fierce support of him.
I know.
Both in office and after. And really in the time when, women weren't at the forefront, how strong she was and how much work she did behind the scenes and the causes that she championed. And she was the driving force behind Just Say No to Drugs.
Yes,
That's right.
thank you for
a lot
that.
of her quotes had a lot to do with that as well. She was very strong and quite the powerhouse behind that initiative.
Yeah.
And she looked like my deceased mother-in-law.
I know. Oh, you're
Veronique's
kidding.
grandmother.
I know. And we said the same thing. Yeah.
She was dignified and like a champion for the community and a champion for many things, as in those who had less.
Yes.
As Nancy Reagan did. She wasn't, above people.
No,
she felt like she was their equal in many ways, even though she was the first lady.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You had to admire her poise.
That's right. That's right.
She was
Beautiful.
and to me, just like Grandma was, she was the definition of a lady.
Exactly, Veronique.
classy.
Lady, and she was
Very.
so, but her mannerisms were much like my grandmother's, and the way she, the way she held herself and the way she dressed, and
Certainly,
she was just
hairstyle
beautiful.
and everything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
very much so.
Well, we can't talk about past presidents and presidents' wives without bringing up the potential possible candidate for the presidential race coming up.
I don't want to throw up on this
know.
beautiful table. I like this table. I want to hold
This
my
past
breakfast
week-
in.
This past week is absolutely insane in the U.S. as far as Trump and his campaigns and the violence and everything that's going along with all of that. It just blows my mind that it's even being tolerated.
Might not be
he's
for
in-
much longer. Somebody, unfortunately, is going to take more of a little attack on him. It's going to be, I'm afraid, a major one at one of these points.
And this violence that we're seeing now is a direct product of what's coming out of his mouth. Mm-hmm. He says
right.
it's not his fault.
He's stirring the pot.
And
big
he
time.
says,
Totally.
that it's, Senator Sanders protesters that are coming to disrupt, and maybe so. But what is happening, the violence that is happening at his rallies is a direct result from the hate that's coming out of his mouth.
But do you know who
what
loves
he's
him?
saying and how he's saying it is just
Intolerable.
Yeah.
But do you know that the leading racists and bigots such as himself, I'm sorry, for those who are Trump followers, I don't mind speaking my opinion, they are the ones that love him because they're like him.
It's horrifying.
I went to the computer today and got the definition of a bigot. Mm-hmm. And I think his name was probably there, but I just couldn't see it. But
it was somewhere there.
a person who is, definition of a bigot, a person who is obstinately or intolerably devoted to his or her own opinions and prejudices, specifically one who regards or treats the members of a group, a racial or ethnic group, with hatred and intolerance.
Yeah.
His name has to be on there somewhere.
no.
I find
his
it
photograph was probably there.
I don't want his photograph.
But I find it astounding in this day and age, and I mean, I sometimes feel that we go a little bit too far in being politically correct. I do, because I think
I agree.
we've taken any opinion that's delivered is all of a sudden, if you're offended, then
we have to be so careful.
Yeah, and I mean,
not
we
to
get
offend.
we get offended by a lot of things that we shouldn't get offended by.
No.
But I think in this day and age, to see someone and oftentimes it's just off the cuff, like he just says it, but he believes it because you can't say it that often and take such passion in defending it if you don't believe
He
it.
repeats himself all of the time.
He does.
He drives those points home.
Yeah.
He's not, I don't find him an intelligent man. He is sometimes witty, I'll give him that. He sometimes, says some things like, when he says he's for the middle class, that will garner him some votes because the middle class want an increase in what they're getting for an income.
right.
And they need that.
Of course.
And he will pull those people in because they want better wages. Obviously, he's got some issues that will appeal to people.
Yeah.
But there are the racists out there and the bigots out there and the people who love him because they think like him. And he'll get votes from that.
No,
In Cleveland and Pittsburgh, the
I think
suburbs of those
it's a
areas, they
recipe
love
for
him.
disaster.
And
I
I
really
think-
do.
I
Do you
think-
want that
yeah.
man in charge of the button?
I know, and that's what they
Of
say,
all those
right?
nuclear weapons?
No.
Yeah.
Seriously, someone who is that loose of a cannon, who gets that riled up and says, yes, go ahead and punch that guy in the mouth, just like that, at a rally.
I know.
And we have a
Being
good
in charge
relationship
of-
now between the Canadian
I
and the
know.
U.S., the Prime
I know.
Minister
Yeah, for sure.
and the President. So
Yeah, for
can
sure.
you see how that would rock the boat
I know.
with Justin Trudeau? Anyway, I love Donald Trump, can you tell?
But I think
We're all
I
gonna
think
get
he
riled
is smarter than sometimes we think.
Oh, yes.
Because I mean, he is a master at marketing. He's a master at self-publication.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very smart businessman because at that level you don't manage the day to day. You manage by exception. So when something's going wrong, that's the part you manage at that level, right? So I mean, he doesn't need to know all the minutia that goes on during a regular day, and that's what he's doing with his campaign as well, right?
Right.
He's managing by exception. So he's spouting off on the big things that are happening. But
Right.
unfortunately now it's happening more and more and more often, and it's a direct. And I really strongly feel that it's a direct result from what's coming out of his mouth.
And he holds no responsibility.
No.
But
Not
he's
his
taking
fault.
credit for owning things he
is.
doesn't even fully own. I mean, you see the Trump Tower,
Yeah.
you see the Trump hotels. He's not full owner of those
No,
things he has
you're
his
right.
name on.
Yeah.
And I was in, like I said, the Miami area last week, and the gentleman said he's burned a lot of bridges. He's really offended a lot of bankers. He's not always paying what he should be paying to people. They're mad at him.
Yep.
He said that last year he drove into the Miami Beach area escorted with security. I mean, who does he think he is? There are billionaires around the world. He is one of them.
Yeah.
He is not the president of the United States. He has no title at this point, but an upcoming candidate for presidency. But at that point, he was driving around with escorted police service because he was Donald Trump. In his mind, he is a god.
He's created that brand.
Yes.
That's why I think he's a master at marketing, because he's created the brand where he is worth billions because of it.
Yeah, well, he fell, right? He fell right to the lowest of low and built up his empire, as Veronique said. He crashed.
Yeah.
And then he got back to the top. So you have to admire that perseverance
that's
of
about
business
it.
ethics. Yes.
Exactly. That's
But
just it.
we'll give him that much.
Yeah.
But
And his hair, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to switch things a little to the Canadian, because Trudeau was at the state dinner with Obama.
First time in 19 years
Yes.
that a Canadian prime minister was invited to a state dinner.
And they loved him.
I know.
The people
did.
loved him.
It was very adorable,
did.
I have to admit.
Well, the one comment that Obama said, that you might be the most likable Justin,
I know.
the Canadian Justin.
Right.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it was amazing to watch. I mean, of course, not remembering having seen a state dinner,
No.
right?
Yes.
And it was amazing to watch, and the coverage, and how wonderful it was to see both, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau and Michelle Obama. Really highlight Canadian clothing designers,
Yes.
because
I
they
noticed
knew
that too.
if they were going to talk about their clothes, they may as well be good, right?
Yeah.
And so they used Canadian designers all
They
week, which
did.
I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
And to see that the reason why they go to these state dinners, and I heard it so often, well, did we really need to pay for them to do this? They solidify so many things when they're down there, because it becomes all about the Canadian-U.S. relations,
That's
or
right.
whomever the state dinner is for. And so they take that opportunity to meet with business people and government officials, and they really hammer out deals and solidify
They
things.
do. They do.
You
It's
know,
not
so
just having a
they're down
dinner.
there.
No, it's not
For
just
sure.
having
It's a
some
lot
good
of
times,
business
no.
details dealt with on a high
So it
level.
really is an important. It becomes all about that relationship. And I mean, going forward, we need the relationships wherever we can get them.
Well,
right?
even Cape Breton was thanked for welcoming those poor people fleeing America
Yes,
because of
that's
Donald
right.
Trump.
Yeah.
So they were thanked. And but did you see Obama struggle to say Mississauga?
Yes.
It's like people saying Miramichi.
Yes.
Miramichi. What is it? It's
That's
like
right.
Miramichi.
Yeah.
No.
But there were some cute times,
There
but
was.
there was a lot of serious stuff,
Yeah,
like
of
you
course.
said, covered, very elegant.
Yeah.
There's lots of great things coming up right here in our very own city in
true.
Miramichi. We have the Diva Diamond Dinner.
That's
coming
our
up.
state
Yes,
dinner.
and you ladies
That's
are
our
coming
state
to
dinner.
that.
That's our state dinner.
Women only.
It's going to be a fun night.
Yes, it's actually being hosted by the 3037 Army Cadets here in
Yes,
Miramichi.
yes.
This is their big fundraiser of the year.
It is.
Sold out same day.
I know.
Yeah.
Same day.
I see that. So there's no pressure there.
And now you've emceed for several years.
I have since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've always
But there
done a
is
wonderful
that
job.
pressure there because they
Of
expect
course.
me to be Miss Hee-Haw with a dress on.
You're the entertainment.
Yes.
I
slash
guess.
Yes.
MC.
Unless you girls would like
No,
to dance or
I'm
do a
good.
jig
No,
or
we're good.
something.
No, we're good.
But
Yeah.
I would love your company. It's the first time we've been as hostesses at
Yes.
the same
The three of
event
us
at
will
the
be
same
together.
table.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Dress
Yes.
up and look
It'll
your
be
best
yeah.
and lots of milk and cookies at that event.
That's right.
Yes. Well, there's another event coming up as well. You wanted to tell us a little bit
I
about?
do, and I should talk about this upcoming volunteer recognition event, which is wonderful. We have so many
okay.
volunteers in our area.
Oh, yes.
So the recognition event is being held from 6 to 8 p.m., thank God, on Wednesday, April 13th at the Kin Center, which is on the square in Newcastle. Finger foods will be available. Tickets are only $10 and can be purchased at Volunteer Miramichi, which is 133 Newcastle Boulevard, or the Hospice Miramichi, which is Howard Street in Chatham. And forms can be picked up still if you want to nominate your favorite volunteer, right up until April 1st.
Isn't that wonderful?
Or you can call 622-6565.
This is something
Perfect.
new.
Something. It's a first.
I love
was
it.
gonna
And Kim
say.
Houghton is organizing. You may. I have not met Kim, but I
met
should
Kim.
know her by now.
Yeah, I met Kim
And
for
so
something else.
she's steering this towards the
So
wonderful
there's
day.
a committee that will take all of these applications and
Yes.
go through them and count them up
Yeah.
and see.
I think 4 will be ultimately singled out that day and spoken of and honored.
Wow.
So it's a volunteer recognition event.
April 13th.
Yes, and that is a Wednesday,
something to look
6 to
forward
8
to.
p.m. Again at the Kin Center. Tickets are $10.
Oh,
Hospice
exciting.
or
Yeah,
Miramichi
it is.
volunteer office.
Definitely. It's going to be hard to choose. This
I
might have,
know.
we've had a lot of them on our show even. I don't know how
Oh,
they
we
would
have 2 of them
decide.
coming up on our
Ah,
show,
yes,
actually.
We do.
Hey, I
Great.
can nominate one, you can nominate the other, and then you can nominate me.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we have it all covered.
We've got a plan.
I'll nominate you.
You had a busy weekend too. You were at a baby shower this
It was
weekend,
so
a very
exciting.
special baby shower.
It was so
actually.
exciting. One of my dear friends has, been trying for several years to have a baby, and she is now pregnant with twins,
Yahoo!
twin girls, and we had the baby shower on the weekend, and her sister and another dear friend of hers. Beautiful shower. It was a lot of work, obviously, to put together, and wonderful friends and family that got together. But I loved it.
It's exciting.
It's so exciting. She's 6 months along now, so
Perfect.
she's feeling good and
Blooming well.
Yes.
I love being
Well,
pregnant.
twins,
If
yeah.
I wasn't my age, I would have another one.
Really.
Like if I was even 10 years younger, I would have
Yeah.
loved to have twins.
Really.
I
Twins,
love being pregnant.
Twin girls. Yeah.
I don't know why.
just
I wouldn't
loved
even
it
care if
the
they were
first
boys.
time. The other 3 times.
No, I loved it. I love being
Really?
pregnant. So
No.
gifts, Veronique, is
Yep.
it still practical, or do you find people like where you have twins and the necessity for the major items are to be needed?
Well, I thought it was interesting. They asked for books.
Books.
Yeah, they wanted books, whether they be gently loved or brand new, and with a little note in the book to be
That's
written
lovely.
to the girls. So that was one thing that they got a lot of course.
Nice.
There was a little bit of both. There was some really practical and some very sweet and sentimental.
Okay.
And one of the gifts that I gave the babies were the Beatrix Potter
I
mugs,
love those.
because I had them when I
I
was
love
a
Beatrix
child.
Potter.
Yes.
And so I thought the 2 babies should have them. But one of the favorite things that I noticed that everybody talked about was the bottle steamer that goes into the microwave.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And everybody raved about it. They said
Okay.
it was the best. Some
Wow.
others had babies and loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then they gave her the same thing, and everybody said it was the best gift ever.
I'm such a non-practical gift giver.
Oh,
like
really?
if
Now,
someone
what
like
would you give?
well,
What
if
would you
someone
have
like
done?
if someone gave me, for example, an ironing board for my wedding, I would be so put
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I can get my own ironing board,
Yeah,
and I
that's
can get my own sheets. But I would like to give you, if you were getting married, a beautiful like a crystal vase, for example, that you would think
Something
of
a
us
keepsake.
that
Yeah,
you'd have
as well.
50 years down the road and say, I remember
Every time
Judy
you
and
haul it
Gerard
out.
gave me that.
Yeah.
Or I would give you something like special, like a collection of pillows for a chair.
Yeah.
or
I
something
do
that,
have certain things like that I have kept from
I don't
events
want
like that.
people to give me mugs.
But when it comes to baby showers, I'd have to say things that I've noticed just from clients coming into the salon with their babies, the inventions that they have out
It's
now.
crazy.
I would like to give that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh my land, I wish we had one of those when
Yes.
my kids were little.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how much easier some of the things
Oh,
are
yes.
out there.
For
that
sure.
they've been
I
able
didn't
to
have the
invent and
baby
create.
snuggler. Did you have the one where you carry the baby on
Yes.
your chest?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember having
I
that.
had a hard time.
I had no
Yeah.
chest to carry anything
And
on.
she didn't get any of that, but she got so many packages of diapers and
Onesies.
and all that, which
That's
which I
good.
thought was fantastic. Yeah, I mean it's a lot. You have to spend a lot of money on that stuff.
You sure
No.
do.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
the practical
That's
part of
just
it all.
Yes, yeah.
We have some more great show coming up.
Yes.
We have to take a short break. We have a couple of fellas. Ross Hartlen, he's a Rotarian.
Yes.
He's going to be coming up next. He's the chairman of the Wine and Beer Gala that's coming up. And we also have Daryl Matthews. So he's going to be talking to us a little bit about the Ironmen. So more show.
Two great men for the show
Don't go
today.
anywhere. We'll be right back with more Have a Chat. Hi, we're back with more Have a Chat. Up next we have for a guest is Ross Hartlen is joining us, and he is a Rotarian, and he's actually the chairman for the Wine Beer Tasting Gala that's coming up here in Miramichi. Welcome, Ross.
Welcome, fellow Rotarian.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Great
We'd
to have
love
you.
to hear a lot about who you are. Tell the Miramichiers, if there's anybody out there who doesn't know already, who you
Oh,
are.
There should be lots of people who don't. I moved to the Miramichi in November of 1974 to work at Miramichi Timber Resources.
Oh, wow. You've been here a
So-
long time.
Yes.
Yeah, moved to Dalhousie, New Brunswick, and did Project 80 at the mill there, and then moved back to work for Sunny Corner Enterprises for 11 years.
So you consider yourself a Miramichier now.
I
Yes.
hope so.
74. I mean, that's a lot of decades.
I hope
I
so.
agree.
And a lovely wife, Linda, and son and daughter you have.
Both Corey and Amanda were born at Miramichi Hospital, and Corey has two children, one of each, and our daughter Amanda in Grand Prairie, Alberta, has one child, son. Nevin is expecting a girl in April.
You're going to be a busy Grampy. It's wonderful, Ross.
Yes.
And you're really excited about this upcoming wine and beer tasting event. Tell us from the beginning about this event and how it's progressed.
I think everybody else is more excited than Ross, though, because everybody waits for this every day.
Oh, they love
year.
Ross.
Yeah. Wine and beer tasting? What
Yes.
could be better?
This is the 7th year that the Rodd Miramichi and the Rotary Club have got together to put this gala on. This year, it's quite a few changes that I'd like to go over with everybody so they realize what's going on. If you remember, and some of you would as you were members of the club, last year, 2 weeks to go, we were sold out.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
So this year we went back to the commission and asked if we could do it over 2 nights, and we got permission. So this year, Friday night is going to be very much the same as any other year that they would have been to. Tickets are the same price, $40. The buses will be traveling both nights like they have in the past. Finger foods will be available during the evening. The Rodd has agreed to supply the weekend getaway for both nights.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
The
Okay.
draw.
So that's the draw for the prize, right?
And on Friday night, the draw is going to be based on a ticket number that is drawn from a box. Okay?
Is that a ticket that I have to purchase
Yep,
once
to
I
get
get
in.
there, or
Yeah.
is it my
No,
entry ticket?
It's your entry ticket.
Okay.
Okay. And Saturday night, we're going to try to up the evening a little bit. And so that night, it'll be based on the best dressed couple.
Oh, that puts a fun slant to the whole evening.
I liked it until you said couple. Was now I require to dress 2 people.
Exactly,
It's
really
much
well.
tougher.
I'm like,
Much
it's
tougher.
definitely much tougher.
But I just want to go back for a second to the point you mentioned about going back to the Liquor Commission. So the New Brunswick Liquor Commission actually quite tightly controls these events.
Oh, yes.
Like
All the festivals.
you have to apply, and you have to be a nonprofit, and you have to. They pick the dates. Everything goes through them. It's not, we can't just all of a sudden decide that we're going to do it.
No, as a matter of fact, there's one person in Fredericton that does nothing but festivals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
They're ongoing all the time, everywhere.
yeah.
And you attend quite a few, Ross, don't you? Like to compare events and to see what's happening in other areas?
I've been to a couple within the province of New Brunswick, and I actually went to one in Charlottetown last summer.
I remember you going now. You
Yeah,
said you were and
it
it was fun.
It was a huge event. There were over 1,000 people there both nights.
Wow.
But our own event at the Rodd, have you been to it, Audrey?
I have not last year, but I think the year before was the year that I had gone, and it was a huge success. I had never been to one before, so I didn't know exactly what to experience.
Yep.
So people were dressed fairly nice, which was a nice evening to dress
Yes.
up and go out. And all the tables were set up along the outskirts, so it was almost like a trade show. I didn't realize that was what it was going to be more like. So the different brands were all set up along the way, the different types of wine. There was a beer area.
The reps are all there.
They're all there, so you can talk to them and ask them any questions. And then the hors d'oeuvres were set up in the center. I thought it went really, really well. I liked that because it's standing room only.
Of course.
So that gets a little tricky after a while after you've been to all the tables.
Well, with your shoes that you wear, it's very tricky.
That's right.
But at the far end this time the Rodd had put up their, it was like a bar table, so they were tall. So you just stood at them and you could rest your beverage there. And I thought it went really, really well. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Talk to us a little bit about the vendors, Ross, and they come from all over.
Well, they're basically New Brunswick reps. This year, all of the reps that were there last year are going to be there again. There might be one that's on the wall, and the other thing that Rishabukta wines are only going to be there on Friday night.
Okay. People will know when to know that.
Okay, but there are also quite a few additions because the more interest you have in the festival, the more reps want to be part
Want
of
to
it.
be part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this year on the beer side, Picaroons and Molson, who have been there for quite a few years, are coming back. From what I understand, Labatt's is going to be there. Schliemann's is going to be there. And also there's another company out of Nova Scotia that's coming for the first time this year. Kenny Ehrman from Atlantic Spirits and Wines, and he's bringing a guy from Nova Scotia Brewery with him.
Very good.
So-
Something new.
That's what
Yeah.
I love, is that I don't think a lot of people realize how much is actually brewed and made locally. Right?
Right,
That
for
it's
sure.
not all brought in from that, it actually comes from New Brunswick and the Atlantic provinces.
Ross, so this little booklet, if I should go to a table and find a very beautiful wine that I would love to serve at my dinner table, I can actually log that down and take that home with me and remember where to go to the liquor store to purchase it.
We
Is
do
that
a
what
we do a program every year, Judy, and it has all of the booths and what was being presented by the booth.
Yep.
And you also have a scorecard on the right side of it,
okay.
so that you can determine what you liked
Yeah.
and rate it.
I think it's
I'll
fantastic.
just show it to everybody
Yeah.
in the room, actually.
So do you receive that when you go in, or you can pick
Yes.
that up? Okay,
Yeah,
so that
and
as
it's-
you go
And
along.
it'll also be on our website.
Oh, perfect. So
So I
you could
might-
actually
yeah.
fill that out on there if you wanted to, or is it just available to look at?
I'm pretty sure you could
You
print
can
it
fill
off.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beauty of this project is not only that you get to experience the beautiful tastes of various wines and beers, it's a social event.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh.
a very you were
Very
talking
much
about
so.
fashion, but for those who are out there listening, you don't have to go dressed like you're going to a fashion show.
No.
But
No.
you know, it's a dress-up thing that you like to put your best skirt on for the ladies or dress,
Yeah.
and a gentleman would like to look, put together and not be sloppy in jeans or whatever. So it's not like a black tie but it's more of an informal, dressy, I would say dressy casual.
Exactly.
And very much hyperness because there's age groups ranging from
there is.
legal age right up to what? Older age.
70s and 80s.
So it's a great
sure.
My age.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents
Yeah.
hate it when I announce that.
In order to enhance the social aspect of it this year, we're having a photo booth.
That's a great idea.
Both nights.
Yeah.
So
Fun.
the first two photos that you get are absolutely free, but if you have a group of 6 and each wants a picture, then you're going to have
Then
to
you pay for
then
it.
you pay for it. But 2 are free, and don't have to worry about it too much because, from what I understand, most people take a picture with their phone of the picture that they were just given,
That's right.
and it's already
Off
up
you go.
on
There
you
social
go.
media.
There
It's
you go.
true,
So-
but a little more reason to get dressed up a little prettier,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that's another new addition that we're doing this year. The other thing that I wanted to mention is we're starting off the week on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Okay,
Okay.
on the 19th, the Rodd's putting on an evening. We called it of delectable tastings and treats
Ooh.
with with Chef Jesse McDonald, and that's at Tuesday. It's going to be a close, intimate affair. There are only 30 tickets
At
printed.
the Rodd again.
Okay,
Okay.
and it's at the Rodd, and it starts at 6:30 sharp.
And how much are those tickets?
Those tickets are $60 each.
There's only
Okay.
30
And
available.
there's only
There's
30.
only 30 available.
Hot commodity there.
No.
Okay, I'd like to go over the menu with
Yes.
you. If you
Yeah.
don't mind.
We're going to drool right here.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
We're with you.
Yeah.
Okay, the first wine is going to be a long, flat red Moscato, and it's paired with stuffed salad, marinated vegetables, with maple Dijon vinaigrette. Now that's an Australian red. It's a light red, sweeter wine.
That would appeal to me, that particular
Yeah.
course.
The next course is a Piedra Negra Pinot Gris,
Ooh.
which is an Argentinian light white, and it's going to be served with pork pot stickler, corn broth, and cilantro oil.
See, now that does it for me right there.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the first one so far.
The
We
next
get all
course
of these things?
is smoked salmon toast salmon mousse with tomato jam.
Oh.
And it's going to be served with a Bonric Station unwooded Chardonnay.
Oh.
Okay, I changed my mind. I like that one too.
Me too. I'm with you on the third one now.
And it's an Australian white would be like a medium. Chardonnay is usually a heavier white wine. The fourth course is a seared jumbo scallop, blue cheese emulsion, and candied nuts.
Yummy.
And it's served with a Sartori Sauvé, which is an Italian white, dry with light-bodied. And dessert is a Score chocolate mousse, chocolate cup with berries. And it's going to be served with a Biso di Vino ganache.
So am I salivating, Veronique?
I know.
Already?
I'm like, I'm
drool
about
marks?
the first one and the last one.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
everything
I
in between.
like them all, Ross.
So these aren't, now just for those who have never been to one, these will not be full courses.
No.
They'd be an appetizer size.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
basically what you're getting is 4 appetizers
Yes.
and dessert,
Dessert.
It's lovely.
and 5 glasses of wine
Well, that's filling.
for $60.
Giddy
That's
up.
incredible.
Oh,
So
my.
they're gonna
And
be-
so
It's
the
a
bus
really good-
runs that night too.
No, the bus is not
I'll
run
be
by
your
now.
bus.
But the cabs do.
the cabs go. Now we should get
Is
right
there Uber
to
in Miramichi? We might
a
need
really
Uber.
important aspect of this whole thing is that the Rotary Club of Chatham, with the sponsorship, of course, of the Rodd, is putting this money towards a wonderful cause again. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that, Ross?
We always tried to be very careful in who we pick for the where the net proceeds are going, and this year it's changed Miramichi. And for those who don't know, that encompasses the SPCA Miramichi, Miramichi Youth House Incorporated, Volunteer Miramichi, Glenedge Youth Alliance, the Tutoring Center, Camp Sheldrick, and JMH Alumni Association.
That's fabulous.
I know they
Great
do. They do
collective.
an incredible amount of work, and they decided to come together about a year and a half ago, maybe.
Good idea.
Because fundraising, of course, is such a
So
big
hard
part,
to begin with.
and it's hard when there's so many. So many
Different
people
little
need a
ones,
piece of the
yeah.
pie.
I know.
So they came together to put their efforts towards one goal, and they split all the profits anytime they have a fundraising goal and fundraising event, and it benefits more people.
And this event with 2 runs and then that special evening is going to bring in a lot of proceeds, which goes to a wonderful, like you said, all those people combined. They all need. I worked for Glenelg myself,
Yes.
and that was a hard time back then to get extra money for different aspects
Oh, it never stops
of the home.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it never stops.
Veronique, I'll get you to grab the little flyer that he has there
Oh,
so
yes,
that
for
our viewers
sure.
can see it. It's quite nice.
Ross,
Now
who does
the-
these?
Newcastle Printing does all of our publications.
They did a wonderful job on that.
Yeah, and that's the it says that it's the beer and the wine tasting. It's wine and beer tasting festival gala that they're having, and the date for that is exactly when. No.
April the
Sure.
22nd and
Okay.
23rd, and remember, Friday night is $40, Saturday night is $50.
And way after Easter, which is wonderful. So it's that time
Yep.
of the year where people are usually back from their holiday, their spring breaks are
Yes.
sometimes
Getting
late.
nicer out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the feelings in the
people
air
are-
of fun
yeah.
at that point in time. What a grand event. I've attended it, I think, every year.
Now, where can you get tickets?
Tickets are on sale at the hotel front desk, the Boulevard Pub, Scotiabank, Chatham and Newcastle, Tozer Insurance, Town Hill Jewelry, and Chatham Rotary members. And it would appear so far that Saturday night is going to sell out.
Well, I was going to say, are
very
these
quickly.
for sale right at the moment? Because I know
Yeah.
I have a few people that are actually waiting because they're
course
afraid
they
it's
are.
going to sell
No
out.
longer.
Tickets have been on sale now for close to
Okay.
a month.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What I
this
love
is
is
some
meeting
who don't
people
know.
from out of town.
Yes.
That people come from other
They
provinces.
do.
They come, to check it out because they hear about it and they want to be part of it. And so I've met a lot of new people over the years.
Yes.
It's so much fun.
Are the evenings the same length of time that
Yes.
that they are at?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I want to
to
thank you personally, Ross, for having undertaken this huge mission year after year. It might look easy when you're on TV to the people, like the
Yes.
viewers. It's not. He works very, very hard, has a committee with him, but as a chair, the legwork is immense, and you really take it seriously, and I give a lot of the credit to your success in the organization.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you.
You are
The
really a hard
the
worker.
program's the pain.
The
Yes,
pain.
of course, because you're
You're
wandering
always
after all.
you're
those
always
people.
trying to look
Yeah.
for information. You're looking for advertising, and when it comes down to the crunch, you're looking for product lists from the vendors, and that can be a
And what
pain.
they want to highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, though. If you haven't yet been to the event,
Yes.
you definitely want to check it out.
And this year, Saturday night, each wine vendor has been asked to bring a premium wine. And what we're talking about as far as a premium wine is a $30+ bottle.
Okay.
So
Lovely.
that's why the difference in price.
And people want to
And-
have a nice time and get the transit home if they need, if they've had a little tipsy feeling by the end of the
No.
night. They're safe to go home. That's
And
the
I'd
beauty
love
of it.
I'd love to give Town Ford Group or Town Auto Group a plug because they're sponsoring the premium wines.
Wow.
Thank you also
Well, great.
from us.
Yeah.
I want to thank you again, Ross, for joining us and filling
Good
us all
job.
in.
Good job. Cheers.
For sure. We have more Have a Chat coming up. We have another great guest. Daryl Matthews is going to be joining us next. He's a retired general manager for the Chatham Ironmen Baseball League here in Miramichi.
Yes.
So he's going to be filling us all in on that. Don't forget to check out the Wine and Beer Tasting Festival. That's going to be the gala that's coming up at the Rodd, April 22nd and 23rd. Also check us out on YouTube. If you missed this show, you can check us out there now as
Yes.
well as our Facebook page. Make any comments or anything else like that and let us know what you're thinking. We'll be right back with more Have a Chat. Don't go away. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. We've got more great show all set to go. We have Daryl Matthews as our next guest, and he's the retired general manager for the Chatham Ironmen Baseball League here in Miramichi. Hi, Daryl. Thanks for coming.
Hey, how are you guys doing
I'm
today?
Great to
Glad.
see you with
This-
that
this
Ironman
is,
hoodie on.
Yeah, this is an upgrade for me. I usually have coffee with the guys this time of year.
Oh,
so
do you?
Well,
Yes.
sure.
This
Over
is
at Tim's?
Definitely over at Tim's.
That's
yeah.
right.
This is
Just
definitely
across.
an
You have the
upgrade.
three ladies, just like Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Daryl's
cuter.
Angels.
Yeah.
A little
Here.
bit cuter here, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you a little bit about your background, Daryl.
Well, I'm a Chatham guy, born and raised in Chatham. Did live in St. John for 4 years, but pretty much the rest of my life was in Chatham, and that's how I got involved with baseball in Chatham. I was a school teacher for 33 years, retired now. Slipping by, it's going to be 5 years, it's hard to believe.
You taught with my mother for quite a long
I
time.
Taught with your mother, a wonderful lady.
And she thinks you're so funny and wonderful as well. She'll be watching the show today and she'll be happy you're a guest.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad
Yes.
she is watching.
Yes.
For sure. So yeah, give us a little bit. Now you're a retired general manager from the Ironmen. So
Right.
you used to be.
Well, actually, just a little bit of history. I actually grew up at the bottom of Baseball Hill, or John Street, where Ironman Field is. And as a kid, used to hang around there chasing foul balls because they used to give a dime for a foul ball.
Oh.
So there would be a group of us, and it was funny because we'd roll around in the dirt. It wasn't paved at that time, for a dime, and maybe get 10 or 20 cents for the entire game. Go
Imagine.
home and get the worst raking because my clothes would be just a mess.
Yep.
But that's my first experience with Ironman Field, and played a little bit of ball there, and grew up watching Billy Daly and Cuffy McLaughlin and Kenny Martin, Beesrell, all those guys. And when I moved back here in 1983, there was an opportunity to come up for me to be involved with the team, and I jumped at it. It was great.
Perfect.
That's when I finished university, so I was just getting back home and so were you.
I was just moving back. from St.
1983.
John. Yeah.
Daryl, that's a long time to be general manager.
Yeah, and you look back at and think, where did the years go? I mean, at the time there was a lot of hard work and so on, but when I look back now, I think, blink of an eye and it's gone.
Every year was just like clockwork for you after that. Once you
Oh,
got
yeah.
it down and you assumed the role, then it just became a piece of cake.
Yeah. We turned it into a business in a big sense. Not what happened on the field, that was still baseball. Now, it's one thing about baseball is there's two things that don't change. That's the fans sitting in the stands. They're there to watch the game, and it's the players on the field. That part doesn't matter whatever else happened with the Chatham Ironmen. Those two things are constant, right? And we're lucky. Both parts of that, the fans still come and the players are still there playing their hearts out.
And they're a strong team, are they not? Like, could you tell us a little bit about the Ironmen themselves and managing them and the wins and the highlights of the Ironmen?
Yeah, we are a small community here as compared to St. John, Fredericton, Moncton, and Charlottetown. They draw from the whole island. So for us to compete and compete as well as we do, it's quite a feather in our cap, and that goes to the outstanding coaching efforts and the commitments by the players. I mean, they put in a lot of hard work to be as good as they are, and to achieve as well as they have over the years. If you measure success in just terms of wins and losses or wins of championships, maybe there are others more successful. But if you talk about the everyday product on the field, I don't think there's anybody as successful as we've been since 1946.
Well, and we all grew up, of course. I remember going to the ball field to watch the team play, and everybody talked about the Ironmen. I mean, that was the thing we, especially in Chatham, we were a ball community, right? And it's continued now.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I will tell the story how the Ironmen got their name, actually.
Okay.
I think I have a picture at the clubhouse, the first ball game team, 1910. They weren't called the Chatham Ironmen. They had the old English C for a crest. But somewhere around 1950, 40, the team was playing in Bathurst against the Bathurst team. I don't know what they were called, but the newspaper guy wrote a story about the odds that the team was facing. They were short-staffed, and the Bathurst team was a bigger, stronger team. But he got in the story about the men of iron from Chatham
Wow.
playing such a tough game. And somehow from that story got flipped around to be the Chatham Ironmen.
Ironman.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
that's
So
unique.
the name stuck. And I go out on a limb, I always say that we're one of the longest running amateur organizations in the country.
My goodness.
Continuous running from 1946 to present, uninterrupted.
So proud to be able to say that, right?
Oh, very,
It's an
very
amazing
proud, yeah.
feat.
Yeah. So, again, it's about the product that's on the field, and it's about the fans, and it's about the community. I always like to talk about the community. A number of reasons for that. We get great fan support. You might go some games when your father and 50 others might be the only people there.
My dad loves those games.
Yeah.
But it's not. It would be circumstances. It would be raining or, 100
Mosquitoes
other
are
things.
bad.
Wine
People away
fest.
traveling. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're not following, like you said. You're Chatham. You follow the Ironman.
She was watching the players, Daryl. She wasn't watching the game.
They still wear tight pants,
was
right?
Well,
She's there.
No, see, they ratted me out.
got her.
on
We know.
I don't think that was fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the only reason I went.
should have worn mine.
That's right.
Yes, you should have.
Yeah.
But the great thing about the fans is that we know they're there. They may not be at every game, but we know they're there, and we know that when the crunch comes, they'll be there. We've held national tournaments in 79, 95, 99, 11, and
last
this
year.
past year.
That's right.
Sold out events every time. And Baseball Canada thinks so highly of our fan support that they keep bringing the tournament back to us
Yes.
because usually tournaments spread around from community to community to community.
That's right.
And for us to get it that many times and
Quite
be
something.
that well regarded says a lot about the fan support that we get, but also the volunteers. You know, you
Totally.
guys-
A lot of
you
Well,
guys-
have you ever even tried to drive around Chatham when the tournament's
Yeah,
going on?
Exactly.
Like every street, you actually have to try. Well, you might as well just go to the tournament at that point. You
And-
can walk up. Exactly.
And you know what? And that's
was
the
going on.
attitude is that everybody says, well, it's a nuisance. The tournament's on. It's a nuisance. But we're glad it's here.
Yeah.
and
The
we're gonna-
economy, the
we're gonna
spin-off.
be there.
Exactly. Well, that's just it. Even
Right?
if you're not into watching baseball kind of thing, the spin-offs, like you said, alone are a benefit to the community, like tenfold.
Hotels, restaurants, gasoline,
Yeah.
you name it, they're supporting it.
But you have an incredible group of volunteers.
Outstanding.
Like they're
Yeah.
real, and I know so many of them. They're so dedicated
Yes.
to the program and to the people that are on the field. Like
For
it really
years.
is astounding.
Yeah, we always, our goal was for our players to be able to show up and play. In other words, we don't want to have them doing endless fundraising, or you know, we want them to have the best bats and baseballs and you know, helmets
Yes.
and all that stuff. We put as little pressure as possible on them outside of the playing
To
surface.
try and raise the money to do it. Just
But we
concentrate more on
do
playing.
require them. We do. It's a big operation, and we do require a fundraiser once a year. But the national tournaments are a great bonus for us because we obviously make money. Everybody.
Well,
knows.
that's what I was going to ask you. Financially, how do you guys keep afloat and your head above water?
Well-
because I would imagine you struggle with that from year to year as well. Some years are better than others.
We run a pretty tight budget. Our only extravagance in it isn't really is that we do travel by a bus now. We did that for safety reasons.
That's good.
That time of the year, putting 4 or 5 cars on the road with men in them late at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
And moose on the road
Safety
and
first,
runs the
yeah.
highways.
Safety
Yeah.
first.
Definitely.
So we have a budget and we follow it pretty close, and we fundraise other than our attendance because that won't do it for us. So
No.
we have a booster club and we sell advertising at the events, and we'll do some kind of a special dance or something like that. Whatever we do, we try to make it a little bit of fun. You know,
Daryl, forgive me, but as a general manager, it's such a huge title that what is exactly your job description? Like, I know you take part in all of this, but do you have to travel to every game with all of them, or not? You wouldn't have to do that, would you?
well, I did. Most of the general managers in the leagues don't travel. Up until last 2 years, I probably would have missed maybe one game in 26 years.
Gosh,
man.
dedicated. That's
Yeah.
amazing right there.
And I did take a few days off the last couple of years, and trying to get a life, you know.
At some point.
Yeah, but it's a full-time job in the summertime. I haven't had a summer vacation in 26 years. I'm looking forward to that this year.
We will see you around this summer
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
having
But-
a ball.
But it was fun. Like, you don't do something for 26 years if it isn't fun. And you know, it just felt like it's time to move on and
It is.
hand it over to somebody else, and hopefully hand it over in good shape. I think it's in great shape, to be honest.
Good.
The program is.
You will no doubt have to be a mentor for the incoming Mr. Greg Morris, who is the new GM.
Well, I mean, I've taught him a lot through the years. So
He's so well
Because
versed.
He's
in-
molded
you
him
know.
already.
Because he's been involved as well.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
Coaching for
Yeah.
how many years?
yeah, he has more years than I did. He had a
Wow.
10-year break in there, 12-year break, but he's been around Ironman baseball since, I'm going to say, the late 50s.
Crazy how that time goes.
Yeah.
And played ball.
Yeah.
Played
Before
ball,
he was a
coached
good ball
ball.
player, very good,
Yeah.
wonderful
Yeah.
coach. People looked up to him.
And-
Now, the Ironman program produced some pretty phenomenal baseball players.
Outstanding.
A couple that probably we know a little bit more than others that made it kind of in the big leagues, as they say.
Well, Jason Dixon,
Yeah.
you know, Nappin product as a kid, but he came to Chatham, plays minor ball, and played senior ball with the Ironmen before he went to the major leagues and after he came back. And hadn't been for an arm injury, which happens a lot to pitchers.
Yes.
Who knows how well he would have done in the majors.
Richard Leggett, did he pursue ball? He did he not, after he left the Ironman scene? Did he not go to the States and play ball, Richard Leggett?
Richard Leggett played as high as AAA.
Okay, I thought he went further than that. The Leggetts were known
well,
for the
that's right next to-
baseball talent, right?
That's right next to the majors. That's as high.
Okay.
That's as high as you can go.
And his family are all known for their ball
Yeah.
skills.
course.
The,
Yeah.
the
Right.
Leggetts, David Godfrey, another outstanding
Yes.
ball player, one of the best ever Ironman, Matty Jenkins.
Maddie, exactly.
People kind of forget about him. He wasn't that big, powerful kind of guy, but he has the best numbers maybe of any Ironman ever.
I have heard that. That is
Yeah.
outstanding.
He's
David
just-
Godfrey's my neighbor. Maybe I can learn some ball this summer.
Yeah.
And wasn't David just honored with the Hall of
Miramichi
Fame?
Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
Darlene O'Donnell, one of our volunteers, was honored to go in there. She was just
Have you been honored?
invaluable.
Have you yet been?
I'm there, yes.
He's in
I'm
the
there.
Wall of
I'm there.
Famers, and
I
so
have-
deserving.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, like, in this small community here, in the wintertime, hockey tends to take
Of
over
course.
things and everything else like that. And I think maybe there's some people don't realize how big baseball is here as well, because besides the Ironmen, there is throughout the community other ball teams and things that are going on. Because I remember even when I was young, my mother was the captain of her team.
Oh, wow.
The Newcastle Cupids was their name.
You don't want that name, do you?
And I have a picture of her in the ball team, and it was an actual women's league that was going on when
Neat.
after Mom had the four of us and the girls got together.
Fun
and
for her.
It was a really big deal. It was actually in the paper not too long ago as a memory from way back when
Oh, I missed that.
in the archives.
I
Yeah.
love those pictures. Are you
Yeah.
responsible for any of that? Like Audrey said, putting those pictures of the older
I think
days.
the St. Michael's Church group does that, right?
That's a fantastic thing to see in the
It's
Miramichi
awesome,
leader.
right?
So-
They get together once a week and they
Love watching for that.
So what's next now for the Ironman? I mean, now that you're going to have a little bit of a break
You're going to
this
have a
summer.
life, so what's for them?
well, this is what we'd call an off year for the Ironman in terms, not off talent-wise or anything like that. We don't know what that's going to be until the season starts, but we're not going to a nationals and we're not hosting a nationals.
Okay.
And this is
Okay.
the first time in 6 or 7 years, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
And so we're going to we were just going to dig in, play hard, have some fun, and then maybe look forward down the road to possibility of hosting another tournament. That's always out there, right? I will say the group of volunteers that we have maybe are getting a little long in the tooth like myself. So we need some younger people coming in. Get a little plug out there, but we would look at hosting again. They're so successful when they're here.
I know. What's a break this year not to have to?
It's a break this year. It's just going to be a come to the ballpark, play ball type year, right? Nationals are in Fredericton,
Oh,
and probably several of our players will be on one of the two teams
okay.
representing the province. So
How does a young fella manage to move up in the ranks and become an Ironman?
well, if you're a ball player and you live in Miramichi, you know that. Road.
Okay, you already know that road.
you know who to make the call to or when
Okay.
the practice is. It was in the newspaper.
Because you have to try out for the team,
You have
do
to
you
try
not?
out for
Okay.
the team, yeah. And it's wide open this year. I know some guys who retired from after the Nationals last year, and one guy I think moved away. There, what I'm saying are there are spots, and it's always open anyway. Even if you don't think there are any positions, it's always open. If you're good, you want to play the
There's
best ball that there is on the river,
Go
then
for it.
Yep, pick up the
I was
phone.
just going to ask you, Daryl. I'm sad to see you go because I'm not around the field as much as some people, women that I know. But it's going to be really bittersweet for you. I mean, what was your point of saying, I love it, but I've had my
gotta go.
I've got to go. Yes, I've had my fill of this right now.
Well,
Just before we go, you've got a nice. We're almost about to wrap up the show,
Aw.
so yeah. I don't want you to get too involved in her answer.
just looking to do other things with my
Okay.
life right now.
Not emotional about it. You've reconciled with the fact that you've
Oh,
done a
I'm-
wonderful job and it's time to have
Yeah.
fun. You're going to get a boat, I hear.
I have a little
You have a boat. You're
yeah,
going to take us out boating this summer.
Yeah.
boating, yeah.
Well, congratulations on all of your success over
Yes,
the past
all your hard
26
work.
years. Hard work, dedication.
Well, thank you.
Really incredible
Enjoyed.
person.
Yes, and thanks for joining us today on
Oh,
Have a
okay,
Chat.
my pleasure.
And letting us know how your career has gone with the Ironman. I'm sure you will be sadly and sorely missed
Very
over
much
there.
so.
Most definitely. I'm sure you'll be handy enough, though, if anyone's looking for some advice or
And it's
know,
funny,
helping
too.
hand.
Anybody who knows Ironman Field will know where to find me. Right
Okay.
down the first base
Great.
line.
Thanks so much again for joining us.
Awesome.
And thank you for watching Have a Chat. We'll see you again next week.